Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego, and it is March 2nd, 2026, coming up on the hour 6 p.m. Central Time here in the Panhandle of Florida. Currently 66 degrees, nice, warm, and sunny here today, lots of sunshine. Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, loves the warm sunshine, but doesn't like it too hot because, as we know, it gets really hot here in Florida during the summer. So, this will be Karina's second sweltering summer in the United States of America, as she is originally from Caracas, Venezuela, up in the mountains where it was always warm but cool. It was a different kind of a heat, kind of like a New Mexico kind of heat. This is your K1 Visa Green Card channel. I give you all this free advice on how to process a K1 Visa. I answer your questions. Ask me your questions. I answer your questions. You don't have to be calling USCIS. You don't have to be paying an immigration attorney lots and lots and lots of money to process this green card or K1 visa, spousal visa. But I don't know anything about student visas, so don't ask me about student visas. If you want to come to the United States as a student, then you're going to have to figure out how to do it. But if you're coming to the United States to marry an American citizen, then this is the place to be, because I've got all the answers for you. Whatever questions you have, all you got to do is ask the questions right here, and I will give you the answer. You don't have to be waiting on the phone for an hour or two for USCIS to pick up the phone. I've been processing K1 visas and green cards for 13 years, and I brought my wife from Venezuela via Colombia to the United States on a K1 visa. It took about 22 and a half months to get the K1 visa done before the final visa interview. Then we went to the U.S. Embassy. Well, she did in Bogota, Colombia. She went to the scary visa interview, got her K1 visa approved. Once we had to get after we got her Interpol police certificate, which added another month to the waiting time. But this is a game of patience. You got to be patient during this process. You never know what's going to pop up, what immigration is going to ask you for. So be prepared for any contingency. And then when Karina got her K1 visa put into her Venezuelan passport, we then flew from Bogota on this airplane right here, on this model airplane, Avianca Boeing 747, and we flew to Miami. Then I rented a Jeep Cherokee and we drove home. So Karina, upon landing in Florida, she got to see the entire east coast of Florida, all the way up to Jacksonville, and then from Miami. Then she got to see the entire Panhandle from Jacksonville all the way across. Then we filed for her 2-year green card after 58 days. We put together a fantastic green card package. After 58 days, we mailed it off using UPS, or you could use FedEx if you want, or DHL. We used UPS because it was closer to the house. Then after 3 months, Karina's green card was mailed to her. She didn't have to go to a visa interview for a green card interview. I mean, there was absolutely no reason why immigration would want to interview us as a couple, considering we had been together for 3 years before we even got married and filed the package. So we've been together a long time now. We've been together over 5 years, and we're going to get ready to file for her 10-year green card. When you file for the 2-year green card, take your time. Make sure you don't make any mistakes on the paperwork, especially on the 864, the affidavit of support. When you get ready to file for the 10-year green card, you got to keep collecting the evidence for your 10-year green card. What evidence do you need to collect? You got to keep collecting bank statements showing both of you active on the bank, both of you buying things. Make sure that both your names are on all the bills that you can get on: the phone, the electric, the water, the trash, the internet, whatever bills you can get on. When you file for the 10-year green card using USCIS Form I-751, you have to show not only you have been happily married for 2 years, but you must also show when you first started the relationship, when you first started dating, show pictures when you first met each other. When we file for Karina's 10-year green card, we're going to include pictures from 2021 all the way through 2026. That way, immigration can see the timeline of our relationship, okay? And they can then, hopefully, we don't have to go to another interview. We had to go, Karina went to her K1 visa interview at the embassy in Bogota. They asked her like 12 questions. They asked her questions, have you ever been to the United States before? No. Do you have any members of your family in the United States? No. They asked her, how many times did I visit her in Colombia? And she said, well, he made 4 trips and spent almost 3 years back and forth with me. And actually, it was 5 trips, but she said 4 trips, but that's okay. And then they asked her the question, have I ever been in trouble with the law enforcement? She said, no, Diego's never been in trouble with law enforcement. But they already knew that because they had my FBI check in front of them on the computer. They asked her how our relationship developed. How did we meet each other? Where did we meet each other? How many times did I fly to Colombia to visit with her? They asked her, has she ever been to the United States before? They asked her all kinds of questions, 12 questions. But she answered them all really very easily. She dressed business casual. We had rented an apartment together in Bogota. And on the day of her visa interview, I was sick. I was sick as a dog. I had altitude sickness and I had the flu, both at the same time. So I couldn't even hardly move. I was sick in bed. So Karina went to the visa interview in Bogota and they asked her, well, when was the last time you saw your sponsor, your fiance? She said, well, about an hour ago. He's at home sick in bed. And they're like, dang, okay. So boom, right off the bat, they knew I was in Colombia. Larry Piercy, howdy, bud. Coffee is great. Thanks for the review. No problem, Larry. I'm glad that I was able to go over your 751 for you and review your paperwork. You just keep on collecting the evidence for Augie's 10-year green card. Now, Larry's been a member of this channel for a long time. I helped put together his K1 visa application. I reviewed it. He put it together. I went over it. I went over his 2-year green card application. And then yesterday, I went over his 10-year green card application. So it was no problem, Larry. You got this. You and Moggy all good to go. She's going to get her 10-year green card. You just got to keep collecting the evidence. That's all. Keep collecting the evidence. So Karina was asked 12 questions at her visa interview. So we're not concerned about getting questions from immigration. They can ask us anything they want. And if we don't know the answer, we will say we don't know the answer. It's very important that if you get a question from immigration and you don't know what the answer is, you just tell them, I don't know. Don't make up some stupid story just to try to fill in a blank, because that's not good. So when I accompanied Karina to Miami, we got to Florida, we got home, we got married on January 14th, 2024. We took lots and lots of pictures on the beach where we got married on the beach here in Florida. Then we filed for her 2-year green card. And then we went to the biometrics in New Orleans. So we had to drive from Florida to Alabama, from Alabama to Mississippi, from Mississippi to Louisiana for a 10-minute biometrics appointment. So we made a weekend out of it. We spent the weekend in New Orleans. She got to see New Orleans. When we file for Karina's 10-year green card, she's probably no doubt going to have to repeat the biometrics and okay. So we're going to go back to New Orleans, but this time I'll take her on a riverboat ride. I'll take her on the Mississippi riverboat ride. I'll take her to Jackson Square, walk down Bourbon Street, and eat some good steak dinners somewhere, and eat some beignets, because New Orleans is famous for its donuts called beignets. like a powder, this fine powder on the donut. I'm not supposed to eat sugary stuff, okay? But what the heck, you know? Just what? One time. When we go to New Orleans, we'll stay at the Holiday Inn Superdome because it's a 4-minute walk from the Holiday Inn hotel to immigration. So we'll drive to New Orleans the night before her biometrics, check into the hotel, park the car, go get dinner, go do some New Orleans stuff. I mean, go to the aquarium, go on a riverboat cruise, buy some souvenirs, and then get up the next morning, have a big breakfast at the hotel, then walk from the hotel to USCIS, go to do the biometrics, and then we're going to wait and see if we have to go to a green card interview for her 10-year green card. Larry Piercy, I forgot to ask, will we be doing another biometric? Yes. When you file for Moggy's 10-year green card, okay, you're going to file for the 10-year green card. You're going to get, they'll include the form G1145, so they text you and tell you they received the paperwork. Then they're going to go ahead and schedule Moggy for a biometrics in New Orleans, just like she did the first time. Just like the process is repeated again. Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois, what's going on? How's everybody? How's Hamid doing? Hopefully you're still collecting the evidence, Francois, for Hamid's 10-year green card. Even though Hamid is from Morocco and Morocco is on the list of bloc countries, that's only applicable at the State Department level, so only for people who are overseas. Hamid isn't affected by that. Larry Piercy, GL 1145. No, that sounds like a new model Mercedes-Benz. That's close, though. It's G1145. The form G, this is the form you're going to need to include form G1145. G1145. You're going to include form G1650. You're going to include form I-751. Those are the three forms, plus the marriage certificate certified by the courthouse, and all of Moggy's and yours evidence of being happily married for the last 2 years. Okay? So also, Larry, give me a couple of days and I will get you the t-shirt made for you that you wanted. Okay? I'll get that t-shirt made for you. Just give me a couple of days to get it, get the designs made up in the computer, and then I'll get it processed for you, and then I'll let you know. I'll send you a text. There you go, Larry. You understand the three main forms for the 10-year green card: the G1145, the G1650, and the I-751. The form I-751 is an application that both you and Moggy fill out together to file for her 10-year green card as a happily married couple. Okay, that's what it is. It's a joint application. When you filed for the K-1 visa, it was you, Larry, asking immigration to please consider Moggy for a K-1 visa. So you filed for the K-1 visa, and immigration got your package. They reviewed it, and they said, okay, we're going to approve you for the K-1 visa process. The next step was your stuff was sent to the to the National Visa Center. Then it was sent to the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand. The U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand then got Moggy's K-1 visa application, looked at it. She went to the visa interview. I think you accompanied her to the visa interview. And then they approved her K-1 visa in Thailand. Larry Piercy, you find some lettering and the collect pic for the very friendly man on the back. Yeah, I did everything for the back, but I didn't do the Marine Corps for the front. The Marine Corps emblem, I didn't make that. I didn't create that. I just created the back. So hopefully that's okay. You want me just to do the back, right? With the very friendly man on the back. Absolutely. I'm going to have all that done for you in the correct format. EGA. What is EGA? What is that? IGA. Now, IGA was a supermarket in Florida that used to be around when I lived in Florida in the early 80s. So it was called the IGA. When I wanted some milk to go for some protein because I was working out in the gym, I'd go to the IGA and buy some milk. What is EGA? I've got the back. Just give me a couple of days to get it takes a couple of days to design it and get the process in place in the computer. And then boom, I'll make the t-shirt for you. Okay. When I get it done, I'll send you a text because you remember the channel. So you have my phone number. So what paperwork don't you have to include when you file for the 10-year green card? Well, you don't have to include the I-94 because you already have the green card. You don't have to include the K-1 visa, the copy of the K-1 visa. Okay. The paperwork for the 10-year green card is just basically proving that you are still happily married. That's it. Larry Piercy, that's good. Can you find an eagle, globe, and anchor, small for left chest in white? I will see what I can do, but I'll see if I can find that for you. But that's just going to take me an extra couple of days to. Now you want me to do that? It's going to just give me a couple more days in order for me to redesign the whole T-shirt. Okay. EGA. What is EGA? Come on, I was not in the Marine Corps. I was in the Navy. We didn't use those acronyms. Now, if you want me to go over your paperwork for you, like I went over Larry Piercy's paperwork. I went over his entire K-1 visa application. I went over his entire 2-year green card application, line by line, step by step, plus his 10-year green card application, line by line. If you want me to do that for you, you're going to have to join up as a member right down here. If you join as a member, okay, a monthly membership fee, $9.99, I will put your entire green card package together if you want me to. But I just got to know who has my phone number and email address. That's why I created the membership. Eagle, globe, and anchor. I'll do my best to see if I can find that for you, Larry. I'll see what I can do. Okay? I'll give it my best shot. But the back is no problem. Okay? I got the back covered. Just give me a couple of days to get it all generated in the computer. Now, if you are stressing out the process because you are belonging to one of those 75 countries that are blocked from State Department adjudication, try to hang in there because, number one, what they did was illegal, unconstitutional. Americans are entitled to due process. Even though it's a foreign national who's applying for the green card, the spousal or the family member green card, it's an American citizen who's the sponsor. As an American citizen sponsor, you have an entitlement to, due process under the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. So when the Trump administration said they're going to block all green card applications for those 75 countries, it's illegal as hell. It's unconstitutional, violates due process, and violates congressional law because Congress put in place a law that says you will be entitled to do this due process. They're not saying you're going to be guaranteed that you're going to be given the green card. That's not what they're saying, but they are saying you are entitled to a due process shot at getting the green card. Trump is arbitrarily blocking that, and it's illegal as hell. So immigration attorneys are going to they've already jumped all over it, and it's going to get overturned. There's no doubt it's going to be overturned. I have one I can bring over, an eagle, globe, and anchor. Well, it's a special way I have to do this for a T-shirt. Okay. You don't have to bring it over. I just got to be able to create a file transfer for the T-shirt. That's all I have to do. So, I mean, you can email me the copy if you want, and I'll see what I can do. But the back I got covered. The front, I'm just going to have to create the EGA transfer. Okay. Now I understand what the EGA means. If you're getting ready to file for a K-1 visa, Don't send it in until you have reviewed it at least 5 or 6 times. Make sure that you have included at least 30 to 40 pictures of the duration of your relationship with family and friends, not just selfies. Immigration couldn't care less about selfies. They don't care about selfies. Are easy to Photoshop. They're easy to make a Photoshop. But getting pictures with family and friends is critical when you file for the K-1 visa. This is when we first met each other. This is when I met her family. This is when I went to visit her sisters and brothers in Bogota, Colombia. This is when I went with her friends to the park and we all played whatever, frisbee. You gotta include at least 30 or 40 pictures in your K-1 visa application with at least a 1 year of evidence of dating each other with at least 2 trips to go see your beneficiary. Okay? You don't want to just do the minimum. If you want to get your K-1 visa approved, you don't want to be just doing the minimum. You got to do more than the minimum, especially now with this administration. You got to be above and beyond. You got to make this the best dang K-1 visa package you ever put together in your life. If it's your first one, okay? Larry Piercy, I'm getting ready to deploy to the Middle East. If they call me, they're not going to call you, Larry. Then they're not even going to call me. The last time I was in the Middle East, I was actually in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea in Operation Desert Storm. That was in 1991. I was in Desert Storm doing stuff. Okay, it's a new generation now. We got the new generation of military. I think 3 F-15 pilots got shot down over Kuwait by friendly fire. Well, I never could understand the word friendly fire because when you get shot down, it ain't friendly. It may be accidental, but it's not friendly. So it's accidental shoot down. And one of those F-15 pilots was a lady, a female pilot, bless her heart. Good job on her for pulling the ejector seat and bailing out and not doing a panic attack. She got shot down by Kuwaiti air defenses because they thought they were Iranians. So apparently the Kuwaiti air defense network doesn't have access to the transponders on the US fighter jets. So they got shot, three F-15s got shot down. But the ladies did great. The female fighter pilot bailed out, ejected, fantastic. Give her an air medal. Larry Piercy, nah, don't. I'm not going to get recalled. Why would I? I'm not me. I'm done 20 years in the Navy. I'm done. My RE code is I can go back in only with a waiver. You know, retirement is retirement, and I'm going to enjoy it. I've done my turn. It's somebody else's turn, and they're brave and patriotic and courageous Americans. And, you know, there ain't no such thing as friendly fire. It's accidental. You get hit accidentally by forces that are allied to the United States. It ain't friendly. It's accidental. You know, that's like going up to somebody and punching them in the wherever and then say, oh, that was a friendly tap. It ain't happening. But I'm just glad that the pilots didn't get killed. And, you know, they bailed out, they ejected. Those ejector seats work pretty good, right? You pull that lever between your legs. Reasonable doubt. Are they still issuing visas or is it still on pause? Depends on the country. If you're talking about I-130 spousal visas, they're being paused right now in 75 countries. They're on a pause. Okay, including Colombia and Thailand and Brazil. There are 75 countries. Okay, she's from Venezuela on a K-1 visa. Venezuela hasn't been blocked. Okay, Venezuela hasn't been blocked from getting green cards on I-130 paperwork at embassies around the world. But they're on a pause for adjudication once they're in the United States. Like my beautiful wife, Karina's from Venezuela. We're going to file for her 10-year green card in a couple of months. Hopefully, by the time we file for her 10-year green card, they are starting to adjudicate 10-year green cards again. But at the moment, Venezuelans are on a pause. I haven't heard anything coming out of USCIS saying that they lifted the 90-day pause. The 90-day pause ends today. So at midnight tonight is when the 90-day pause is supposedly ending for Venezuelans. But so we'll know tomorrow. So reasonable doubt, is your fiance now in the United States? Did you get married within 90 days? Have you filed for a 2-year green card? Have you done that? Larry Piercy, by the way, thanks for yesterday. No problem. I went over your I-751. You just got to make those adjustments I mentioned on your I-751, and you're good to go. Just keep on collecting the evidence from Augie and you as a family. Okay? I don't have much space left in this big old binder that I put together for Karina and her 10-year green card. I've got very limited space left because I filled it up. Reasonable doubt. Okay, thank you. She's on the way to the Colombian embassy now. Appointment was March 16th. She hasn't arrived yet. Okay, a K1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. The U.S. embassies around the world didn't block Venezuelans for non-immigrant visas, only for immigrant. She's not even blocked for immigrant visas. No, she's good. She's good. No worries. Even if it was a non-immigrant, she's going for a non-immigrant visa. Even if she was going for an immigrant visa, she's not on a block. She's good. She's good to go. Don't worry. She's good. Larry Piercy, was my folder comparable to you? Yeah. Yeah, you have a different kind of folder. I used a binder, not so much a folder. I'm just using a binder. You separated everything into a folder, which is fine. I put everything in a binder using document protectors. So not a problem. So reasonable doubt, your fiance is going to the Colombian embassy in Bogota for her K1 visa interview. Make sure that she has the I-134 with her, the original I-134 that you signed, the Declaration of Financial Support, right? You have the I-1, your tax returns, your W-2s, your 1099s, your tax transcripts. She has all the financial documents for the visa interview, right? The appointment is on March 16th in Bogota. So I'm going to assume she's flying from Venezuela to Colombia, and you're going to put her up in a hotel. Yes, I have my tax return W-2 pay stubs. Now listen, reasonable doubt. Can you not jump on a plane and fly to Bogota and accompany her to the visa interview and then bring her to the United States? Number one, she's Venezuelan. Okay. So, her country has been listed as a pause on adjudication for 2-year green cards. Okay, good. So you're going to go March 14th. Go to the visa interview with her in Bogota. You're allowed to. You can go in there with her, okay? And stand right next to her when you go to her interview. Make sure you got all your financial paperwork with her. Reasonable doubt. Yes, I work for DHS, so it was difficult to get off, but I'll be there. If it's difficult or not, you got to be there. She's Venezuelan. She's in a strange country in Colombia, and she is gonna be. Hopefully, she won't be put on a pause. But when you get to the United States, when you get married, and you file for her 2-year green card, do it in about 60 days. Give yourself 62 months to put a 2-year green card package together, and by then, the pause should be lifted on Venezuelans. Mafumi, do you think the war will affect the visa processing for the K1 fiance? Only if maybe in Pakistan. Just, the United States is bombing the crap out of the Iranian military right now. I think the U.S. Navy has sunk the entire Iranian Navy. I don't think there's any Iranian Navy left. But Pakistan had a big problem with it. And there was a big demonstration outside of the U.S. consulate in Pakistan. So that probably put K1 visas on hold at the consulate in Pakistan temporarily because of the there's always got to be some troublemakers that want to cause some kind of disturbance somewhere. So in Pakistan, there was an issue at the consulate. So the only K1 fiance visa I can see being held up would be in Pakistan, just temporarily for right now. So reasonable doubt, get to Bogota. Make sure you bring everything with you and accompany her to the embassy interview. Now, usually she's probably going to have to be there like about 7 o'clock in the morning. The traffic sucks in Bogota. At between 5 and 6 a.m., the traffic, and up to about 9 and 10 a.m., the traffic is horrendous in Bogota. So you want to make sure you give yourself at least an hour to get to the embassy, unless you're at the hotel right outside of the embassy gates. Make sure you allow enough time for traffic. Abduli Jallo, hello, Mr. Diego. May I have permission to carry on, sir? Come on, man. Watching from Florida, West Palm Beach. Tomorrow is my biometric appointment for my adjustment of status. So we're going to put lots of lucky blue pixie dust, and I'm going to give Trump the benefit of the doubt and put lots of MAGA red pixie dust on all of your green cards and processing. Good luck on the biometrics. It's only going to take about 10 minutes. Make sure, Abduli Jallo, you bring with you the appointment letter to your biometrics. You must bring your appointment letter with you. If you don't, they won't let you in the building. You must bring your passport and your marriage certificate. Reasonable doubt. Okay, 60 days. Okay, there you go. Sounds good. And yes, I'll be there with her. Very good. Hopefully I can get her on the plane the next day. Okay, that's the plan. I use your guidance to get the application approved. So you followed me on this channel and you listened to what I tell everybody, and it got you through this process. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Reasonable doubt. I booked a hotel near the embassy, so we'll be very close. Very good. Good thinking. You applied in October 2024, got approved October 2025, took a year. Very good. Now you're at the finish line. You went through the MVC processing. They sent it to the embassy in Bogota. You scheduled the visa interview. Now you got it ready to go. You want to bring as much evidence with you to the embassy interview showing your relationship with your fiance. Okay? Does your fiance speak English, or does she speak only Spanish? Abduli Jallo, okay, Mr. Diego, thanks for your advice. I appreciate it. That's why I'm here. Reasonable doubt. She has the medical exam on March 3rd. Very good. Biometrics 4 days before the interview. Very good. Biometrics, when you listen, reasonable doubt. When she goes to the biometrics, I went to the biometrics in Bogota with Karina. Make sure that your fiance goes to the biometrics with her Venezuelan passport and the biometrics letter. She has to bring the when you filed for the visa appointment, okay, you should have printed a copy of the visa appointment that when you paid the consular officer for the visa application, you should have printed the paperwork. The DS-160. The DS-160. Do you have the original printout? Does your fiance have the DS-160? Because she must bring the DS-160 plus her passport to the biometrics. If she doesn't have the DS-160, they will not do the biometrics. Okay? Listen up, reasonable doubt. Pay attention. Yes, I got a copy of the interview letter and the DS-160. Okay? Make sure that they accompany your fiance with her passport and put the DS-160 in the biographic page of her passport. And don't take any cell phones into the biometrics. Or you can take your cell phone in there, but make sure you shut it off. And she speaks a little English. Okay, this is going to be a question maybe at the interview at Bogota. She doesn't speak a lot of English. The immigration officer may ask her, how do you communicate with each other? If she only speaks a little bit of English, how does she communicate with you, American citizen sponsor? Do you speak Spanish? It's good. You need to be ready for that question. They may ask her, well, if you only speak Spanish and he only speaks English, how do you guys communicate with each other? How are you going to respond to that question? She got the medical exam March 3rd. Very good. Now make sure when she goes, now you can pay for the medical exam in cash. You can only pay cash. The medical exam in Bogota is cash only in Colombian pesos. But you can pay for the x-ray, the chest x-ray, and if she needs any vaccinations, you can pay for that on your credit card. But she has to pay for her medical exam in Colombian pesos in cash. Okay? Reasonable doubt. I speak a little as well. Basic conversation. Okay. So you can, if she gets the question, how do you communicate with each other? She can say, well, my fiance speaks a little bit of Spanish, and we practice and speak Spanish to each other every day, and English also. Okay, that will cover that question. All right, because you're going to probably get that question. They asked Karina, how do you communicate with Diego if he's American and you're Venezuelan? How do you guys communicate? And Karina said, well, Diego speaks Spanish, fluent. And they said, okay, they made a check. The American citizen speaks Spanish. Then they moved on to the next question. That was one of her 12 questions that she got. Reasonable doubt. Has your fiance, your beneficiary, has she ever lived in Colombia, or is she flying in from Venezuela? Is she flying from Venezuela to Colombia for the visa interview, or has she lived in Bogota, Colombia? If she's been living in Colombia for longer than 6 months, she's going to need an Interpol police certificate. If she's never lived in Colombia, if she's just going to travel there for the visa interview, then you don't need the Interpol police certificate. But she needs the Venezuelan police certificate with her. So she needs to get her, and she needs to bring her cedula, her Venezuelan cedula, to the visa interview. She never lived in Colombia. We met there 4 times because I can't go to Venezuela. Very good. Okay, very good. She's never lived in Venezuela. In Colombia. That's good. That's going to save you a headache. So you got engaged in Paris. Very good. She was living in France. Did she live in France? How did you get engaged in Paris? Did she fly from Venezuela to France on vacation, or was she living in France working? I'm just kind of make sure you don't mess up on the police certificates. She's going to need a police certificate from Venezuela. It's easy to get, but you got to get online like 2 o'clock in the morning. Get online 2 o'clock in the morning, get her Venezuelan police certificate. Maru, hello, Diego and Karina. Maru, how's Maru? Good to see you, Maru. How's your fiance doing in Cameroon? Demetrius Chapman. Good evening, Diego. I applied the I-130 for my children January 16th. Okay, that's a family visa. Delivered January 20th. Still didn't get it. Received a text from USCIS. Well, it takes them a couple of weeks to open the package. So what you did was, let me ask you this question, Demetrius. When you filed for the I-130, did you include Form G1145? G1145. If you did, immigration, okay, did immigration send you a text message yet saying they received your I-130 package? Did they send you a text message saying we received your application? Maru's doing well, reasonable doubt. Okay, no, Demetrius, well, then they haven't opened your application yet. They haven't opened up the box of goodies. When immigration open up your I-130 application, they'll send you a text message. They haven't opened it yet. It's sitting on a shelf waiting for it to be opened. That's all. Relax. You're good. Don't panic. Maru is doing well. Reasonable doubt. I bought her a flight ticket to, you bought her a plane ticket to Europe. So she flew from Venezuela to Europe on vacation. Very good. So you don't need a police certificate from France. You don't need a police certificate from Colombia. You just need a police certificate from Venezuela. And you must bring it to the visa interview. If you don't have the police certificate from Venezuela, she's going to be put onto a 221G hold. You don't want that to happen. Demetrius Chapman, they are from Ethiopia. Okay, very good. Beautiful country. But the immigration hasn't opened up the box yet. When immigration open up your I-130 application, they're going to send you a text message to say they have received your stuff. Reasonable doubt. Yes, we have the police certificate from Venezuela. Very good. Good job. So you got the police certificate. You got the I-134. You got the tax returns, the W-2s, the pay stubs. Do you have bank statements showing your direct deposits going into your bank? If you don't, go to the bank and get at least 6 months worth of bank statements, a year if you can. Bring those with you to Colombia. They may want to see it at the immigration interview. Reasonable doubt. Yes, you're good to go. Demetrius, thank you, Diego. No worries. Look, I started these live streams in Colombia, in Bogota. That's when I started doing this, in Bogota with Karina. Karina comes online with me sometimes when she's not too tired. She's working a full job. She's busy. Plus she has her coffee company. She has a t-shirt company. She works a regular day job, and she does this YouTube channel. And so when she's not overwhelmed with work, she'll come and sit right here and hang out with us. If you join as a member, if you join up as a member, right down here, you can join up as a member. And if your beneficiary speaks Spanish, let's suppose that she's in Colombia or in Venezuela or any Spanish speaking country, if she wants to speak to Karina, if you're a member of this channel, your fiance will be able to call Karina and talk to her. And Karina can go and help your beneficiary with some of the questions, perhaps on the medical exam, the biometrics. So like let's suppose your fiance is in Colombia and she has questions and you're a member of this channel, don't be afraid to call and ask for Karina. Okay? Karina will talk to you. Karina knows the process. You see what I'm saying? Don't be shy. You utilize your membership. You're a member of the channel. Utilize that benefit. We're here to help you. Like I'm retired from 3 things. I retired from the Navy. I retired from Mercedes-Benz. Then I retired from real estate. Now I do this. And Karina's working full-time, 3 jobs. T-shirts, coffee, and her day job. Now, if you want to check out Karina's website, it's KarinaRossCoffee.us. That's her website. Now, you don't have to go in there and buy anything if you don't want, we're not telling you to go and buy stuff, but at least go into her website and check out her website. See what you think of all the work she put into it. She works hard. So she's a great benefit. So I'm just happy that I met her. I met her in Colombia, and we dated each other in Colombia for 3 years. But she's from Venezuela. So I'm just grateful that she was in Colombia, not in Venezuela, because I'm not allowed. I would no way in heck I'm going to go to Venezuela. Not right now. Not until the country has been totally cleansed of all those communists. When the communists have been jailed, prosecuted, or have converted to being, decent human beings, then when Karina's a U.S. citizen and she has a U.S. passport, then we'll fly to Venezuela, go see her family. We'll go to Colombia too. But we're not going to go anywhere outside of the United States until Karina's a U.S. citizen. So she has another just over a year to go before she can apply for U.S. citizenship. What happens when Karina files for her 10-year green card is, even though her 2-year green card will expire in June of 2026, she will get a 4-year letter of extension. So she'll get a 48-month extension on her 2-year green card. So her 2-year green card expires in June. Even though it's expired, she'll have an extension letter to go with her green card. So she's still in status. All right. When you come to the United States on a K-1 visa, the K-1 visa becomes obsolete. Then you get issued an I-94. Lots of people are in panic mode. Well, my K-1 visa expires in 90 days. Well, if you got married within 90 days, the K-1 visa becomes irrelevant. Then you get issued an I-94. The I-94 is your temporary residency paperwork while you're waiting for your 2-year green card. Even if the I-94 expires after 90 days and you obviously haven't received your 2-year green card yet, you're still in status. But you got to carry your I-94 around with you in your car, in your wallet, in your pocket, in your jacket, in your purse. If you go to the gym, put it in your gym bag. If you're driving with your American citizen sponsor, carry your I-94 with you in your purse, in the glove box of your car. That is your legal status. Don't worry if it expires and you haven't got your green card. Immigration understand. But you got to have the I-94 with you. Okay? That's how the process works. When you file for the 10-year green card, your 2-year green card expires. Don't worry about it because you're going to have a letter of extension. That's good for 48 months. And in those 4 years, you're going to get your 10-year green card. It may take a year or a year and a half, but you'll get it. You'll get your 10-year green card. So, just make sure you don't make any mistakes on the paperwork when you file for the green card, the 2-year or the 10-year. The biggest mistakes people make on the 2-year green card is they don't know how to calculate the family size. They put the wrong total on the family size. You're a family of 3, but you're a family of 4 because they throw the curveball in there on the calculation. It happens all the time. Or you forget to sign the paperwork. Or you forget to put in how much money you made or you forget your tax return. When you file for the 2-year green card, you got to include your last tax return, your tax transcript, W-2, 1099. Okay? You got to include the last one that you filed. You don't have to include 3 years worth, but you do have to include 3 years worth of information. So when you fill out the paperwork, the 484, when you fill out the affidavit of support, they ask you, how much money did you make in 2025, 2024, and 2023? But you only have to provide your 2025 tax return. Okay? So don't panic. Try to relax during this whole process. If you are qualified for the benefit, you're going to get it. Remember, though, once you become a green card holder, you now have rights as a green card holder. The benefit is correct. I get sick and tired of hearing these folks in immigration say, well, a green card holder is a benefit. The K-1 visa is a benefit. Once you get approved and adjudicated and issued a green card, now you have freaking rights under the Constitution of the United States. And they just can't snatch your green card out of your hand and deport you. That's not how it works. Once you become a green card holder, as a green card holder, you are entitled to due process. Okay? And only an immigration judge can kick you out of the country. So once you get your green card, stay out of trouble. Keep your nose clean. All right? Don't get in trouble with the law enforcement. Don't give immigration a reason to put you in front of an immigration judge. Because if you get in trouble as a green card holder, you get arrested, you get put in the back of a police car. I don't care how minor it is. If you get put in the back of a police car, okay, immigration's going to find out about it, and then they're going to be putting an ICE hold. They're going to put a hold on you for a review of your green card. Don't give them that opportunity. Stay out of trouble. Follow the rules. Follow the laws of this country. Don't, break the law, and you're good. And then just stay in status. File for your 10-year green card. And when if you decide you want to become a U.S. citizen, file for your U.S. citizenship. Once you become a citizen, then you got to stay out of trouble for 5 years. Even though you become a naturalized American, you become a naturalized U.S. citizen, you got to stay out of trouble with the law for 5 years, or they could denaturalize you. After 5 years, then if you make a stupid mistake, then you're protected, unless it's for fraud when you applied for your naturalization. Okay, guys, I've been talking for almost an hour. I recommend that you relax during this process. Make sure you fill out the paperwork correctly. Make sure you use Form G1650 to pay for your immigration benefits. If you want to join as a member, join up as a member, then you use the benefit of joining as a member. Call me on the phone if you want to. Text me anytime. I was helping people all day today with immigration questions who are members of this channel. It's the best $9.99 they ever spent, is what they told me. Okay. It's cheaper than paying $5,000 or $6,000, right, for an immigration attorney when you don't need an immigration attorney to do this. But it's a confusing process. But I've been doing this for so long, it's second nature to me. But I'm not an immigration attorney, and I don't give you legal advice, and I don't work for USCIS. I've been doing this for 13 years. I helped one gentleman get his green card approved after it was denied because his wife screwed up all his paperwork because they were in a big hurry. You can't be in a hurry. You have to take it slowly. You have to read the questions carefully. Okay? But today's Monday, March 2nd, 2026. I'll be back on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Enjoy the next few days. I'll make some videos for you guys, and I'll be getting back to planning our vacation. I'm taking Karina to Area 51 in the springtime. I'm going to take her to Area 51. Not going into the base, obviously. I don't have a security clearance that high, but I'm going to take her to the back gate so she can get to see where all the aliens and their spaceships were delivered back in whenever they were delivered there. See you on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.